Oh, joy. Number 5, consideration of possible action on approving notice of intent of stormwater discharge from small municipality. Is that you?
Yes, the two of us.
2 of you.
I guess I
Oh,
somehow
you're-
got involved in this.
Well, let's do it. What's up?
So we have to do a stormwater bill for 3 areas. I've met with DEQ several times, we've emailed several times. I got a map from DEQ showing those are the 3 areas in the county that we have to start doing the stormwater stuff on. Based off of this map, I came up with these would be the 3 areas because they, as part of their deal, they don't give you like the road names and all of that. So those are the 3 areas that I came up with based off of those. Part of the deal is we have to do a notice of intent. Troy has the original. It's the first step in the process. This is $100. And then after this, then we will get a bill for $748 and some change, right? For the second part. As part of the notice of intent, we have to do this as part of the SWIFT plan, which is our stormwater plan. I'm still learning all these acronyms and everything here. But this is the first part that working with DEQ, they've told me what we had to do. And then the second part is the draft that we'll have to come up with. This part they suggested that we use to do.
Well, one thing you keep using over and over that I don't like is we have to. I'm not so sold that I have to yet.
Okay. If you guys tell me otherwise that I don't have to do this, then I will
I'm not
follow your
sure. I'm not
direction.
sure you're getting off the hook until we are. One of the things that I noticed that you talk about stormwater stuff, right? This has been ongoing for over a year now. I think we've been talking about this, right? Stormwater management plan. So I think the board, or what we wanted to know was, what are we supposed to be managing? Right? What is it exactly that DEQ or whoever wants us to do? What is it that we have to do?
As
Lonnie says, I don't like that word "have to do," but what is it that we're required to do? We've got a lot of generalities. If you don't do what we tell you, we're going to fine you $10,000 a day. That's a general threat, but it doesn't address specific requirements. You know, that's kind of where we're at. What specifically are we supposed to do?
Michelle is here from DEQ. I think that might be a more appropriate question for her as she's oversighting this. I mean, I'll tell you what I think, but
Yeah, Michelle, what do they expect us as a board of county commissioners? I mean, what is DEQ after us to do?
So it's that's part of what we want to address in your SWIMP, your stormwater management program. Basically, we want you to look at all those areas that you have in the urbanized areas and look at potential for stormwater pollution in those areas. So that involves doing good housekeeping. If you own any areas, if you own any sort of county areas in those spots, that includes reaching out to your citizens and telling them what stormwater pollution is and how to prevent it, and things that they can do in their homes, like not dumping hazardous waste down the storm drains and that type of thing. That includes looking at construction sites that are in those areas. And I think something that we had talked about in the past, you guys were concerned about being able to do enforcement on those sites, or having
We have no enforcement.
right. And what the solution that we had offered to you in the past was just to take note of those sites and refer it to us as DEQ, and just write in your SWIMP that that's your process for enforcement.
So what I think I just heard you say was you're asking the county to give DEQ the ability to come in and enforce your rules on the citizens of our county.
So
Is that second option? Is that?
for construction sites, you can use that as a route for enforcement, yes. Technically, DEQ can already come in and do enforcement on those sites.
Yeah, I
because they have the state
understand.
Well, that's the thing. We don't have any jurisdiction on any kind of construction site.
Right, so that was our solution, that you
So
say
the
that you
solution
would bring
is just
those-
to call you and give you a heads up.
Yes, and you just have to document that in your SWIMP, that that's your solution,
We
that
don't
you
have-
are gonna look at these sites so often. If you see issues, then you refer them on to DEQ.
So how does that work? If someone files a plat to build a housing addition, that we've got to notify DEQ that there's somebody filed to put a plat in, or as they start moving dirt? I mean, again, I'm looking for, what is it that you want us to do?
Well, this is your permit right here, and I think Michelle has given all of you guys copies of this, and we went through a whole training session last year when we came back up the first time, and that covers all the requirements that we're looking for. I think this has kind of been the sticking point for you guys, how to handle this enforcement issue. If you want to notify us every time that someone is out here doing any sort of dirt work, that's fine, and you can write that down in your procedure. That's not necessarily something that we require. What we are looking for is that you have procedures in place. So when you come out and you look at a construction site and they have issues, you have procedures in place for what you're going to do to bring them into compliance.
Are we talking about developments, or are we talking about individuals putting houses in on lots?
It could be both. If they're disturbing an area that's an acre or greater, then they are required to have what we call our OKR 10 construction permit.
Well, Michelle, I think the problem lies in Logan County. If I wanted to go down here somewhere and build a house, I do not even notify the county. I just go
Exactly.
down and build a house. So the way I take it, DEQ wants me to run around and do their job. So I go out here and I'm the policeman. I see someone doing something bad. I'm supposed to call you so you can come in and write them a ticket. I'm not going to do that.
So you are actually responsible for the stormwater that's leaving your areas that.
But it's
we've
not
got
my
on
area.
maps.
It's their area. They own that land.
Right.
But it's part of your MS4, so any of stormwater pollution that's coming off of their construction site into your MS4, that's what you're looking at.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
What's coming into our bar ditches and
Right. And what's leaving,
screwing up the road?
and potentially polluting stormwater.
That's what you guys want to do.
I think you know what I want to do. But I don't think we can afford that.
Well, on that same sentiment,
Can I ask a question?
Sure.
So what happens if DEQ finds some construction site that we didn't even know about? So does DEQ come back to the county and go, hey, they were building and doing anything over here and now you're in trouble because you didn't follow these rules?
No, so we will do our own enforcement. What we will come back and follow up on is if you say, well, we went to this construction site and we saw issues and we told them, and then nothing ever happened.
Okay,
That's what
but
we're-
that's the root of the problem. I tried, guys, I'm sorry.
It's okay.
That's the
You're
root
doing
of the
good.
problem. I can go out here and buy a half-acre of land. The only county involvement in that is the recording of the deed until the assessors figure it out and know. There is no building permit, there is no planning, no zoning, there is no connection to the person who bought that half acre of land and this county and what they build or construct on it.
Exactly.
There is no way, we have no clue who's doing dirt work, who's building a barn, who's building a house in the areas that are unincorporated. We have no clue. So what you're saying, if I understood correctly, was what you said, well, when they do dirt work and when they build, then you need to make sure that their water is properly disposed of, and if it's not, then you notify DEQ. We're trying to tell you, we have absolutely no idea who
Yeah.
does that. So we can sit here, we can fill this out, we can pay an $800 permit fee, we can do all of this. And when DEQ drives out 105 and says, oh, look, they're building a house, did the county come out here and look? Well, the county didn't go look, so now we're gonna come back and fine or punish the county for not looking at a house for their stormwater when we had no clue it was being built, because they're not required anything on the county level.
Okay, so we're only looking at the areas within the urbanized areas. It's not the whole county. So
But that still holds
Right,
true down in those
Right,
areas.
let me go on. So that's part of developing your stormwater pollution prevention plan, to put procedures in place where you go around and drive through those areas, you know, once a month or once a week or whatever, and look for the potential pollutant sources like construction areas or, you know, illegal dumping or that type of thing. That's all part of your plan, and those are procedures that you want to look at and come up with and see if there's anything that you guys can implement to look at those types of things.
So we're
I
gonna-
understand that you don't have anything in place right now as things are,
But you want us to single out people who buy property in your little areas and treat them differently than people that buy that are outside your areas but are still within Logan County.
No, they'd like you to do the whole county. Hey, David.
We're already doing that, basically, or I am anyhow, when somebody complains about somebody doing something, and I think it's in DEQ's ability to address that, then I call DEQ.
so that's all you have to do, just document it, that you went out, you saw this issue, you referred it to DEQ.
So we have to document that on the sheet that we went out and did everything
Yes, that's part of your
versus
program.
letting you guys
So now there's
document it when I
administrative
call you
costs.
on your 800 number or the
That's-
local guy?
That's part of your program, to document, you know, our inspector went out and did this inspection, saw this issue.
We don't
referred
have
it to DEQ.
inspectors, that's the whole thing.
What inspectors?
Well, you can either hire them, or if you guys.
Oh,
don't you guys
have you
a program
funded
around
that?
your area?
David, quick question. So they want us to pay $100 for this and $750 permit later. So you want us to pay you $950 to do your job? I'm out.
Uh-huh.
I'm not gonna do it myself. These guys can.
No, I don't think we have consensus on that.
Probably not. We haven't called for a vote yet, but I'd be happy to listen to somebody to try and bring it up to be voted on.
Well, I mean, the threat is the $10,000 fine. And here's the thing, and I think you're gonna leave here with this attitude, well, they just don't wanna do anything. And it's not that. We
Why?
don't have the parameters in place. You're requiring us to create a new department and new procedures for a very select small piece of the county that doesn't even apply countywide and actually doesn't even apply in one district. This
Right.
only applies to
You got
two
it.
districts based on a map of your choosing.
Sure.
We're not saying DEQ can't do their job. We're saying that the mandates that DEQ is putting on Logan County and the cost that it will incur for us to avoid a $10,000 a day fine is absolutely ridiculous. If we already had this structure in place and we had an inspection and we knew who was building and doing what, that wouldn't be as big an issue. But you're asking us to create an entire new department and set of procedures for this little tiny area. That's the problem.
So do you guys drive through your districts on a regular basis and take a look around?
I do, but let me tell you this real quick. I got an Ilmenau account. For this month, I got $2,050 to maintain 600 miles. I'm not gonna spend any of my money to do DEQ's job. If DEQ wants to come and do their job, so be it. I recommend they do it. But I'm not gonna spend any of my $2,050 on my 600 miles I get to come and do your job.
In the federal government, we call this a drive-by fielding, okay? And basically what that means is that you just come by and you kick a new regulation out the window and say, here, we're gonna require you to enforce this, but no additional funds come with that requirement for enforcement. So I'm not really a big fan of those kind of issues either. What you've asked us to do is to enforce an urbanized water management program in an unincorporated portion of our county. Urbanized water management programs are normally the basis or the jurisdiction of a metropolitan organization, a city or a township. Those are the people that get involved with that kind of stuff. Unincorporated portions of counties don't really care. That's why they're unincorporated.
So this isn't a new requirement, and it doesn't have to cost a lot of money. If you guys are already driving through those districts on a regular basis, just look for potential polluting sources and document it. For the
Okay.
public outreach, there are plenty of places where you can get things printed for free, including DEQ. Make those available to the public somehow and document how many of those you've handed out. I mean, it really doesn't have to be something that you spend a lot of money on. If you guys are familiar with the city of Arcoma, it's literally one short street, like 3 blocks, and they're included in the program. It's really unfortunate, but they still have the same requirements that you do, and it's literally just one guy who does everything there.
It's just a money thing. I mean, you want me to pay this $950 permit fee to DEQ, why do I need to pay you guys? You want me to do your job, and you want me to pay you to do it.
We're not asking you to do our
We're
job. That's
asking
why
you to
we're
pay the
saying that you
permit.
can refer things to us.
You're asking me to pay the permit.
Yes, it's a permit fee. Everybody has a permit fee.
Yeah.
But again, I think the difference is
To cover their administrative costs.
in areas, whether it be a town or a city, and you can use Guthrie, they have a planning and zoning if you build within Guthrie. They already have these parameters in place. Oklahoma County has planning and zoning and building inspectors, so it's really easy because the building inspector has to go out there and be on site anyway because it's a requirement in that county to say, oh, look at their stormwater. We don't have any of that. None. Zero zilch of it. So it's not just an extension of something we're already doing.
So you don't have anyone right now that currently drives through your districts or your county to look at things?
Not in that
Maybe.
respect, no. No.
No,
If
no,
they get a
no,
call for a pothole in a
Not
road
on-
or,
Okay, so before this program was in place, nobody did stormwater inspections. That's the purpose of implementing this program. I mean, obviously Oklahoma City wasn't doing stormwater inspections. They didn't have a stormwater management plan before they.
but they had
became
building
phase one.
inspectors and people that were already on site at
Right.
and knew about the location. That's
And
what we're
I'm
saying.
is you already have people who drive through these areas and drive through these districts. They're just gonna be looking for additional things and then documenting it. I'm not telling you that you have to hire a new inspector unless you really want to or you have the money to. People who are already driving through these areas can just look for these. Yeah, that's, I mean,
Okay, if I see something, I'll call you.
So we
Just
changed
gotta
the
make sure you
employee
don't-
policy manual to all employees. It's now, as we drive to our homes and around the county, we will, I mean, it's either that or hire someone, right?
It's
Exactly.
interesting, try and get the county residents to inform on each other. That's probably a tact I'm not willing to
I mean,
to
they
try.
complain about each other all the time.
Oh, I'm thinking Oklahoma now has a really good little connection to DEQ, and maybe we need to exert some contact.
Well, boss, what are you gonna do?
Mr. Chairman.
I'd entertain a motion. Not hearing the motion, I say dies. Number 6, consider open seal bid 2017-12 for roof repair on hog and sheet building at fairgrounds and consideration of possible action on awarding said bid.
so
Michelle, thank you.
before I go, I just wanna let you know that Michelle Roundback, who had the previous enforcement case on you guys, received a new position with City of Norman, so our last day with DEQ is actually on the 7th, so if you guys have any questions,
Thank you.
please let me know.
Well,
So-
it's either.
Thanks for your time.
Thank you,
And
Michelle.
since we were not able to resolve the NOV, we're probably gonna move forward with the consent order, which again is like potentially $10,000 per day per violation.
Alrighty,
So that you guys are aware.
thank you.
Okay,
Thank
thanks.
you.
Thank you for coming.